When you get close to the extreme, you are beginning to get to a dangerous point. Either extreme. So in this situation, the male-dominated extreme or the female independent, don't trust in men, don't rely on men extreme, neither of these is working. You need to find a balance. You need to know how to do the things that work. In fact, that's one of the things about marriage. Marriage is about two people balancing each other. You have to find a way to balance each other. Like, we are very different people. We have very different qualities and personality traits. And they were problems for us in the beginning, the first years of our marriage. We butted heads with each other because of that. But eventually, we learned to balance each other. I learned to use Christiane's talents and appreciate her differences, and she did the same to me.
You learned to relax a little bit more with me.
Because I was always work, right? And life is about this. You need to learn how to balance things, not to fight for extremes. In marriage, do not try to make that person a copy of you, of yourself. You've got to be like me. Because we love that person so much that we want to turn them into ourselves. That's what we usually do. I wanted to turn Christiane into a version of me. So, because I am usually tougher, less emotional, I'm more focused. I wanted her to be tougher, less emotional, more focused, more work-oriented and less socially oriented. And she was trying to turn me into a version of her as well. Right? She wanted me to become socially oriented, less focused, less work, and all of that. And of course, while we tried that on each other, it never worked, because you have to learn to appreciate the other person's personality and qualities, even the flaws, and learn how to work with those things. And positively influence that person, not try to change, not to criticize the way he or she is, but try to give a little bit of yourself to balance the way that person is. I was imbalanced in the way I worked as a single man. She was imbalanced too, but thank God we learned how to balance each other out. And that's one of the first things you need to learn about love and in life as a whole. So what we are saying, instead of prioritizing money and career, is we are saying prioritize marriage. And why is that? Why is that important? How is that going to make a difference in your life? Move marriage up on your priority list. Because nowadays, marriage seems to be the last thing on people's minds, if they haven't already given up on it altogether. First comes a lot of things, and usually it's related to career and work and self-actualization and my dreams and my goals. And marriage is way down there. Because people haven't learned how to figure this out, so they basically have given up on it as a bad thing. So if you make marriage central to your life, it will work as a support for everything else.
And to practice this, to take this into practice is, for example, today, you have invested in your love life because you came here. A lot of people heard about the Love School event, but they're not here. You came, you're learning, you're hearing, you're listening, you're writing down. This is an investment that you're making. Every time you learn to have a relationship, to be in a relationship, when you read the book, when you are interested in becoming a better person so that you can have a good relationship. For example, I need to have relationship skills for me to be in a relationship, which I didn't have when I had problems in my marriage. I didn't have skills. I didn't know that I was doing a lot of things that were pushing Renato away from me. So when you invest, it's just like you invest in your career, in your school. You learn, you read, you see how you can apply that. And sometimes people think that I don't need to invest in love because love is just, if I feel it, great. If I don't feel it, I'll wait for it to show up. And it's not like that. Relationships cannot be waiting for you for, one day you just bump into somebody who's going to be perfect, who's going to fit perfectly with you.
Yeah, leave it to fate, to destiny. It's going to happen someday if I'm lucky. No, or at the right time. And then you realize it's a bit late for you. But it's going to happen if you prioritize it, if you plan for it, if you focus on it, if you see it as a good thing. In fact, as a way for you to have more financial stability. Because one of the best predictors of poverty is divorce. If you look at children who have come from broken homes, you look at the statistics of what happens to these kids when they grow up, and compare to kids from stable homes, you will see the difference, how these kids have more trouble finding their place financially, in career, in society, etc. So, see marriage as a foundation for stability in your life, even in your financial life. Intelligent couples, smart couples, prosper together. They help each other to prosper. They are a team. And it makes total sense. Two are better than one. Two incomes, great. Let's talk about this. Let's do life together. Let's use this to our advantage, not let it divide us. So, be a team, in other words, and prioritize marriage. That's the first mistake, first sin that people are committing. Let's talk about number 2. Believing lies about marriage. Believing lies about marriage.